We are animal in our blood and in our skin. We are not born for pavements and escalators, but for thunder and mud. That's a good one.
Why?
Because putting people in shoeboxes and buildings and concrete takes away their spirit and hides so much of someone's soul, but put them in an open space and surrounded by mountains and seas and lochs and rivers and muddy puddles and trees to climb, that's when you see someone, in my opinion, come alive. There's opportunities outside all of the time, and when you lie under a starry sky, you start to feel perspective and you start to consider the size of you. In the grand scheme of things, you can be tiny little specks amongst a beautiful world, and when you look at the stars and you're lay on your back, you're gifting yourself time. And I believe sleeping outside allows us to connect to the fact that we are animals, and that to feel the seasons, to slow down and not live in artificial light and almost put the pressure of other people's lives on you with a TV or with a radio or with a smartphone or social media, but to step outside allows you to listen more, and if you're with company, it allows you to have life-changing conversations that I don't think you would otherwise have unless you were in a big open space. To find that the simplest of things can create the happiest of feelings, and find a pocket of joy wherever you are. I believe there's pockets of joy if you're in a city. You don't have to be in the luxury of a big open space in the Highlands, and to go outside and look up. Basing myself in large landscapes, whether it be in mountains, lochs, rivers or seas. So the Highlands have shaped me rather than this tiny little village that I grew up in. People have enriched my life, but the Highlands have enriched my life. One winter I was really running a lot. And I love the combination of running and then throwing myself in cold water and getting out and running again. And one winter I almost felt I pined to be in cold water every day. So then I had a challenge for myself to take what I called a cold plunge every day for a year. So whether it was a loch, a sea, a river, for me I became addicted to cold water, and I found for me it became a therapy. It became my way of forgiving things, accepting things. Things can be flowing so fast, and you can look at a river and you can look upstream as it's all coming towards you, and then you can turn your head and let it all go. And then I began, when I was entering cold water, I'd enter and decide what was I going to leave in that water and let go. The one thing that became a constant that allowed me to wake up and almost release any anger or release any tension or worry was putting my head into cold water. You know, I believe so much in connection to place and connection to activity. And once you've almost found a connection with cold water, I think it can take people in so many different directions. Strengthening of mind, of almost putting yourself in the elements, to know as well for a personal, for me, knowing that I can cope. Sometimes in the depths of winter when the pebbles are frozen and you put your feet on the side and you're shivering, instantly your body wants to tense up. You go in and your lungs tense. Lochs and rivers and waterfalls can be so much more than medicine, than actual chemicals that you're popping into your body. It's there for the taking. Dipping a toe sitting by a loch making a cup of tea. Nothing else matters and needs to matter. And it's like self-nourishment for the soul. I'm one of those people that always thinks I was born in the wrong era. I would dream to have a tiny little place that doesn't have much of an impact. I don't have to depend on the national grid as such. I could produce my own energy to live, and a lot of people think, you know, that is a romantic idea and it takes a lot more effort, and it makes me sad it takes more effort to live in a way that is better for our planet. You know, people have said to me, you're in Lynn's world, you're in Lynn's little bubble. You have too many romantic ideas about how the world could be. Things don't define a person, and staying with the latest trend doesn't make you better than anyone else. I struggle with a smartphone because I'm someone that believes that we should spend a little bit of time not talking, and then you pick up the phone or you write a letter. But I do believe that we don't talk deeply enough anymore. Smartphones, everything's instant, but everything's got to be like now and really fast. And again, it's that whole thing of uncontrollable pace. And I feel like life is, for many people, becoming this uncontrollable sprint or cascading waterfall because everything's got to be so fast because these silly smartphones, and that we should listen more and question more, and that we should not be caught up with, you know, things on social media and prestige. There's real stories in people, and we should, you know, switch the TV off and stop and talk to people and walk with people in big open spaces, because everyone has an incredible story. I think it's so easy to get so disheartened and negative, and the only way to get through that is by finding the positive stories and using them as an example to almost highlight to young minds that with enough energy and enough positive motivation that we can do good things. That lovely, mysterious and awesome space. Enjoy yourselves. Keep your brain in your head and your head firmly attached to the body active and alive, and I promise you this much. I promise you this one sweet victory over our enemies, over those death-bound people with their hearts in a safe deposit box and their eyes hypnotized by death's calculators. I promise you this, you'll outlive the bastards. I struggle with the swear.